All right, we're doing 11.5 area of circles and sectors. We're going to find the area of a circle and a sector of a circle and use the area of circles and sectors to solve problems. A sector of a circle is a region bound by two radii of the circle and their interpreted arcs. So let's draw a picture of that. We've got a circle. We've got two radii. This would be my arc. Okay. The area of a circle is pi times the square of the radius, so pi r squared. The area of a sector of a circle, so the area of a circle is equal to the ratio. So we're going to use this one. Area of the sector over pi r squared equals the angle of the sector over 360. So very similar to what we did on Friday with circumference, except we're just going to use the area formula. Okay. Unfortunately, this is going to disappear. Okay. All right. So we're going to make sure we know how to do the area of some circles and to work both ways. Okay. The first one, we want to find the area. It says area, and we're given 2.5 centimeters. Is that the radius or the diameter? Radius. So we're going to use pi 2.5 squared. 2.5 squared. Do we want to leave it in terms of pi, or do you want to find out? Okay, times pi gives us 19.63 approximately. So that's approximately 19.63 centimeters squared. Okay, pretty simple. You've probably been doing that from, like, what, 7th grade? Okay. Now we've got the area, and we've got to work backwards and find the diameter. Okay, so I'm given that the area is 11.31. I know I'm going to use pi r squared. So the first thing I'm going to do is divide it by pi. And then I'm going to find the square root of that. So I get 3.6. And then I'm going to find the square root of that. And I get the radius equals 1.9 centimeters. But do I want the radius? So I take 1.9 and I times it by 2. And I get the diameter is 3.8 centimeters. Okay. This one we're going to find the radius. So we've got 25 equals pi r squared. 25 divided by pi. And then we get 7.96 equals r squared. And then we take the square root. Square root of 7.96. And we get 2.8 centimeters equals the radius. Any questions about this so far? Okay. Let's move down and find the area of sectors. Okay, it says the shaded region because that's what it'll say in your book. But if I shaded this, you wouldn't be able to see how many degrees it is. So it's the one in between radius TU and radius TV. Okay? So again, we're going to use that ratio on the front, which is the area over pi r squared equals the angle, or degree, of my sector over 360. Is everybody okay so far? Degree. So we're going to take, do we know what the area of the sector is? No, so we put x over pi 8 squared equals the degree, which is 70, over 360. And then we're going to cross multiply. 360x equals, what's 8 times 8, guys? What's 64 times pi? Yeah, well, you should have your calculators out. And we're going to times that by 70, and we get 14,074.3. And we're going to divide that by 360. And we get x equals 39.1 equal units squared. Is everybody okay with this so far? Any questions? I'm teaching up here. Any questions? Okay, now we're going to work backwards. We've got the area of the circle, and we've got to find everything else. Okay, so I don't know what the area of the sector is, so that's x still. The area of the circle is 35 equals the degree, 40, over 360. So the only big difference here is it's already done the pi r squared for me. Okay? So I get 360. I get 360x equals 40 times 35 gives me 1400. I divide that by 360, and I get x equals 3.9 meters. That is your area of the sector. Since it didn't ask us to find our radius, but we could go 35 equals pi r squared. But instead of putting in pi r squared down here, I just stuck in 35. Excuse me. All right, we're going to use area of circles and sectors and everything else to find out this. A rectangular wall has an entrance cut into it. You want to paint the wall to the nearest square foot. What is the area of the region? So it's like a door. You know, you guys have seen doors that have a rounded top. And we want to figure out the area of this door. So we're going to break it into two parts, right? A rectangle and a semicircle. So let's find the area of the rectangle at the bottom. Anybody know what that would be? How would I find it? The area of this rectangle. So this is 16, and what's the height? So it's actually a square, even though it's not drawn to scale. So 16 times 16 gives us the area is 256. And then we want to find the area of that half circle. There are two ways to do this. I would just find the area of the circle and divide by 2. Okay. So we know that the radius of that circle is what? We know the diameter is 16, so the radius would be 8. So pi 8 squared, and we're going to divide it by 2. So we get 64 times pi, and then we just divide it by 2. Gives us 100.53. And then you add them together. 100.53 plus 256 gives us 356.53 feet squared. Yep. Any questions? All right. We are actually going to take a pretest.